Hey, Intuitive Soul Tribe. Melissa, Intuitive Soul Coach here, excited to dive into the collective energy. These are general readings, so please take what resonates and leave the rest behind. If you are interested in a personal reading or entering into the free monthly reading giveaway, you can find both of those links in the description box below. All right, this is going to be a very powerful collective reading. I'm so glad you are joining in today. Now, here in the United States, we celebrate Independence Day, also known as the 4th of July. Now, when we think of freedom, each and every one of us may think of something different, and we think freedom sometimes is a luxury, but really it is a necessity for each and every single human being or creature on this planet. Freedom really is something we all crave and desire, and we're going to talk about that today. Now, as I sat in meditation and I connected with Spirit and said, okay, Spirit, what do we need to know? What do we need to talk about here for the collective reading? They gave me a song right away, and the song, the lyrics, freedom's just another word for nothing else to lose. Nothing don't mean nothing, hun, if you ain't free, in the words of Janis Joplin. And I knew immediately upon hearing that freedom was something we must talk about today. Now, this isn't going to be a political reading at all. This is energy. This is freedom in the forms of how we can attain this on a personal level, how we can shift our energy to manifest the things that we desire and want. But most importantly, it is internal freedom. It is energy. So we're going to take a dive into that today. Now, I am getting, some of you may actually hear that song, Me and My Bobby McGee. You may hear that song on the radio in the near future. That is a perfect synchronistic reminder that you are manifesting freedom, that you are heading towards more fulfillment, you're releasing detachments. So we're going to take a dive into what freedom may mean for you, because again, it may mean something different for each of you, but we'll also take a look at action steps on how you can achieve more freedom in your own world. Now, sometimes we think of freedom as financial freedom, emotional freedom, freedom to travel, do as we choose, to release attachments, to release the past, traumas, pains. Sometimes we think of it in the form of the luxuries. Like I said, some people think of freedom as luxuries, having things that other people don't. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, I am getting here, it's important to not run away from situations or circumstances and step up to the plate, step up and figure out what is going on a deeper level, so we are not fazed by people, by places, by situations, circumstances, or things. This is about you being free from mental, emotional garbage that clouds the thoughts and the mind, right? Anxieties and fears. This is about letting go of attachments that we may feel at times, so we can release that inner child, so we can have fun, so we don't have to judge each other. When we are children and we go out into recess, right? We go out and we play. We don't pick and choose based on surface level things, right? We just want to play. We just want to go out into recess and play jump rope or climb the monkey bars or go down the slide or play tag. We don't care who it's with, right? We want to release that inner child. And a big part of freedom is play. So that is a high emphasis that I want to talk about today as well, because so many times we grow older and we become adults, right? We lose sight of play and we lose sight of our priorities. Now, play should be one of our top priorities, if not the top priority on our list. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Melissa, I have responsibilities, I have a job, I have this, I have that, I have to take care of that, I can't leave that, I can't play, right? I say, yes, of course, we all have the responsibilities that we need to take care of our lives here on earth. However, we've lost sight of what's truly important to us. We've lost sight of our awareness and our freedom and our capacity to play and have fun, because everything is structured and regulated and routined. So a lot of you are feeling the physical symptoms in your shoulders, in your neck, in your back, in other areas of your body, because there's so much stress, so much tension, because you do not choose play above these other responsibilities. Now, this inner child is showing up here as the first card out because this is so powerful. And some of you may already be, maybe you've already clicked off, or maybe you say, well, Melissa, that's not plausible. I can't play. I don't have time. Then if that is the mindset, if you're going to choose to put play at a priority that is below the rest of everything else, then you're going to be held captive. You're not going to feel as free as maybe you would like. And this isn't to admonish. This reading isn't to tell you that you're doing everything wrong. This is to help you head towards more freedom, more joy, more fun, more magic. This is about having more happiness in your world, more fulfillment and enthusiasm for life, right? This is about you being able to go on that swing, right? Even as a 35-year-old adult, this is about blowing the bubbles as a 55-year-old grandparent, right? This is you being able to have that excitement and that zest, that love for what you do in your career, have and make your career fun instead of so structured and regulated. This is about playing in your relationships as well, getting to know each other, having fun, not taking things so seriously, not attaching ourselves to the words that other people say, and we hang on to them, right? And what that does is it takes away our freedom, and it can lower the vibration and the energy of the relationship or our job or our career, and ultimately it can lead to health issues. It can manifest health issues within the body. So some of you absolutely need to be reminded to have fun. And I'm a huge fan. I love fireworks. It's so beautiful. I love to see the sky lit up. I love to see the colors. And there's such awe and there's such magic, and it brings you back, and it puts you in the state of, in a sense, meditation. And that is a piece of that freedom, that bliss. So whatever it is right now, I want you to take inventory of your life, and I want you to look at the things that you feel held back from. What is it that is so tight in your life that you can feel it in your body, that you can feel that tightness and that stress? What stresses you out? What causes the anxiety? How can we loosen the reins? How can we detach ourselves? How can we dive into the energy here of trust? Because there's always going to be some sort of adversity, diversity, feels like competition. Someone may say something. There's going to be some sort of obstacle or challenge, but it's how you deal with this obstacle or challenge that makes all the difference, right? You can come at it in a way that is more playful, right? One that is more accepting, more loving, more understanding, one where you don't take things personally. In the book, The Four Agreements, if you haven't read that book, it's an excellent book that you can really, if you live by. One of the agreements is never take anything personally. Another one is being impeccable with your word, meaning what you say, saying what you mean. But also there's this energy and this act of kindness, right? Do unto others the way that you want to be treated. It's the golden rule. And I have here, what I'm getting with the inner child is sometimes it's important to say what's on our mind as well, but say it in the form of truth, kindness, and compassion, even if it's difficult. It doesn't mean that you have to completely come out with guns swinging or arms swinging, ready for conflict, right? Ready for battle. But sometimes we need to have those difficult conversations because we avoid them. We run from them. We want to keep the peace. But sometimes we need to set ourselves free by using that First Amendment right of freedom of speech, right? We need to be able to speak, to share our story, to be heard, to be understood. And that's a part of coming together as well. So it may feel like conflict if you speak what's on your mind, but it has to do with how you speak as well. So some of you, this has been a challenge. I am getting some throat chakra intervening here. So throat chakra could be something that some of you are working on, because there could be some major triggers that have shown up in your world. This could be major obstacles that you are working on overcoming. Some of you are working on speaking your truth. For others of you, you're working on bridging or mending some sort of gap. This can be about competition, but looking at competition as your ally, right? Instead of one-upping each other, which seems like we're always doing at times. We have to have the next best thing. We have to have that car, that home, or that vacation, or we have to have everything. One way towards freedom is reducing the wants and giving gratitude for what we have. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Melissa, no, I want this and want that. And that's okay. It's okay to want things in the physical, but it's also important to have gratitude for the things that you do have. Because there, yes, if we have to compare at times, right? If you feel like you must compare and look at the things that you do have that maybe other people don't. Instead of comparing and saying, I wish I had that, I wish I had that, be grateful for the things that you do have right in front of you. Maybe it's drinking water, or maybe it's healthy water to drink. Perhaps it is a bed to sleep in. Perhaps it's clothes to cover your body. Perhaps it's a job. Perhaps it is a child. Whatever it may be for you, give gratitude. And I always recommend keeping a gratitude journal, as I do, but I also each and every evening when I sit down and have dinner with my family, we do what is called the peak and the pit, the highlight of our day, the low light of the day, because it's important for us not to throw things under the rug. It's important for us to take a look at conflict. What was the pit of your day? What was a low point? And how could we have shifted it, done better, learned from it, or how could we do things different the next time around? So it's important to take a look at the conflict or the low part as well. And then we do 3 things we're grateful for as well. So if you can start to embrace that mindset, that energy of gratitude. I've met people that they cannot even think of one thing they're grateful for. And if you feel like you are in that position at this time, then yes, I'm giving you a big hug. I'm giving you a lot of love, because sometimes it does feel like we don't have anything to be grateful for, but you are experiencing this human experience on life, on planet Earth right now. You are breathing. This is a blessing. This is something here that is of gratitude, and you can give gratitude for your life at this time. So I challenge you, beautiful souls, to start saying what you're grateful for every single day, because that can help you as well. And also another thing, when it comes to conflict, here's just a few exercises that I do in my everyday life that may help you out as well. Please take it as it resonates. What works for me may not work for you, and that's okay. When it comes to conflict, when it comes to adversity, when it comes to competition, when we can start looking at these things from that higher perspective, right? Because we actually have perspective here showing up as well. When we can look at it from an open or unbiased mindset, it really shifts and alters our world altogether. When we see it from all different angles, not just one specific narrow-minded, one way only, it can help liberate us. We're able to see it. For example, perhaps you have a family member that is very, very difficult, and whatever you do, you get stuck in this repetitive cycle of tug of war with them. You can't get anything past them. You just can't get through to them. Now, some of you may be saying, well, Melissa, you told me to talk to them, to step up to the plate. You told me not to run from it, where some of you, yes, you may have blocked this person, or you may have cut them off. Well, there is absolutely reasons to love from a distance and disconnect. So I am not admonishing you for that at all. However, sometimes it's inevitable for us to just cut someone out, right? Especially if they are under 18 and they're living under our roofs and we're having a challenging time with them. It's important to see it from a brand new angle and see, how are they teaching you? What are they teaching you at this time? Because remember, if you believe this, as I do, we choose within our soul contracts our family members, our children, our parents, our soulmates, the people that we want in our lives to help us, to challenge us, to help us evolve, grow, learn. And yes, sometimes they can be a big pain in the you-know-what. But if we can start to see it from that higher perspective and say, what is this person teaching me? Perhaps they're teaching me patience. Perhaps they're teaching me unconditional love for myself. Perhaps they're teaching me to be a more kind, more compassionate person, because maybe they're manipulative and narcissistic. Perhaps they are teaching me resilience and strength, and maybe that is what my soul came here to understand. So if you can see it from that higher perspective, maybe it's that worker, employee that you work with that is just a challenge, and regardless of what you say, you just butt heads. Now, We can agree to disagree. We can live within peace, having different views. And that is so important. Sometimes people think it's their way or the highway. You have to believe in this, or they push or project their viewpoints or their ways of life. And if this is you, or you get caught up in this cycle at times, it's important for you to detach and understand, again, from this perspective, that you are a beautiful spark of the divine that is having an individual experience just as that person is as well. But really, when you look at it, you are one. This person is you, and you are this person. If you are looking at it from a mirrored perspective and you're looking at it from a whole, this is an opportunity for growth and evolution. And if we can't love from a distance, right, then what is it that we need to learn? Sometimes we get put in these situations or these dynamics to grow and to evolve. So just take a look at conflict in that way as well. Another thing that I've taught, another thing that may help is sometimes I've known people, even myself, I can be a little bit patient. I remember many, many years ago driving with incompetent, we'll call it. It felt at times incompetent drivers. It could be people that, were right up on your rear end there, people that cut you off, or people that were driving in all crazy lanes, right? I'm sure some of you have had that happen, or you've been the driver yourself. Sometimes it's important to put yourself in their shoes for a minute. Now, don't curse me in the comments. You're saying, Melissa, I would never want to put myself in that person's shoes. They cut me off. They flicked me off. They chased me down the road. They were horrible, horrible people, and it left some post-traumatic stress, and I've had it for years, and I haven't went out on the highway. Whatever it is for you. Maybe it's not that deep. But something that I've started to do many, many years ago and started to teach as well is you can shoot. Instead of shooting the F-bird at them, you can shoot hearts at them, right? Shoot hearts at them and put yourself in their shoes for a moment if you can. Again, perspective. You never know what that person is going through. Now, of course, that does not give anyone the permission or a free pass to act the way that they do. But if we can understand that maybe that person is rushing to their emergency room because they just found out their wife was in a car accident, right? Maybe if we see that person, it's maybe they just got fired from their job and they are on the brink of having a mental breakdown. Now, again, that may not be the case of what happens, but when we can see it from a different point of view and a different perspective, one that is less judgmental, we are able to detach from that energy of anger instead of flicking the F-bird, right? Instead of sitting in that vibration or that energy of what just happened on the road or on the highway. We can detach from that quicker instead of letting it sit with us and spiraling, because sometimes we can take on their energy or they can take on ours, and it can last for minutes, it can last for hours, it can last for days. So that could be something you may want to try next time you are in traffic. And I recently have a teenager who is, a couple that are driving, and it's something that I've had to learn patience, and I've had to learn trust. And it's interesting also to note, and my daughter reminds me all the time, she goes, Mom, that person ahead of us, they could be a 16-year-old driver that doesn't know the signs as good, right? So whenever we start to feel a little bit impatient, it's important to take a look at it from a new perspective, because that can help us. And you may be saying, well, Melissa, what does this even have to do with freedom, right? What does this have to do with freedom? Because it has to do with attachments, and it has to do with freeing ourselves from mental, emotional, stress, thoughts, fears, anxiety, anger, all of those lower frequencies and vibrations that hold us captive, that hold us in a state of not feeling fully free or liberated because we are holding ourselves back. Most of the times, our own worst critic, our own worst enemy is our own thoughts. We tend to self-sabotage by hanging on to things that if we just let go of, like a child, right? And I've given this analogy before, children on a playground. If they go out to the playground and let's say someone is on the slide, maybe they push them down the slide, they want their turn, but they're not going to hold a grudge and sit at the top of the slide the whole recess and pout. I mean, sometimes you have a little kid that does that, right? Sometimes adults have those temper tantrums and sit there and pout as well. But typically what that child is going to do is say, well, this slide is being used. I'm going to go on the next slide. I'm going to go on the monkey bars. I'm going to go over here and go on the teeter-totter. I'm going to go play jump rope. They're not going to sit in that energy because there's so much else to explore, because they truly feel free. They don't hang on to that. So we can learn so much from our inner child. We can learn so much from our children, from our youth, from liberating ourselves from the things that challenge, hold us back, or tether us. And it can be job, it can be health, it can be simple remarks, it can be things on the highway, whatever that may be for you. Now we also have here strength. This is important, and Spirit wants you to know this. And I'm getting the name here, Zachary, or Zachariah. Please take that as it resonates. Strength here. Beautiful souls, you are so much stronger than you think. We get caught up in the feeling of physical masculine strength. We have to be strong for our family. We cannot cry, right? So many young little boys and men are taught that they have to hold their feelings in. What if the greatest strength that we have here on planet Earth is to embrace that femininity, is to embrace our intuition, our vulnerability, our emotions? Right? What if that greatest strength here is for you to bridge the gap, come together, be able to agree to disagree, right? To be able to let go of those attachments, to release and trust that we are living our soul's purpose, that we are embracing our journey. Now, this is about overcoming obstacles. It's not about running from them. When you take a look there at that phrase, it says overcoming obstacles, and you actually have the same exact phrase in the conflict. And this is important because this is a key feature when it comes to liberation, when it comes to freedom, whether it's financial freedom, emotional freedom, freedom to live and choose where you go, whatever this is for you. Now, some of you may be saying, Melissa, on such a global or a wider scale, again, this isn't a political reading here, but this is about mentally liberating yourself. Even if you feel confined by rules and by regulations, remember this matrix, remember this game, right? Remember that you've came here to planet Earth to overcome those obstacles, and you have what it takes to do so. Some of you, this is physical. This is fitness, right? It's getting in shape. Perhaps you've chose a life where you've struggled with a mental health disorder, a physical health disorder. It could be obesity. It could be eating. Please seek medical professional guidance. See the disclaimer in the description box below. But I am getting here that you are so much stronger. And as they say, God gives his toughest battles to his toughest soldiers. I believe God is in each and every one of us. God, source, energy, whatever it is that you want to call your higher power here. And I believe that that energy exists within, and we have the strength to overcome the challenges that we've set out to move forward through. And this for you is about freedom, right? Whenever I think of horses, right? I think of wild horses. They are not meant to be tamed. We are not meant to be tamed. That's why conformity is such a challenge. Of course, we need conformity to a certain extent. We need that stop sign. We need that stop light, or we'd run through and there'd be chaos, right? We need rules and regulations to a point, to an extent. But I also feel here that it's important in our own personal lives to liberate ourselves by detaching from expectations, the words of others, projections, fears, anxieties, hate, anger, all of those things that hold us back. We all have the strength to come together and to overcome these obstacles individually and collectively, because that is going to take us into this next chapter, this beautiful 5D energy that is right here available. We have the Bliss card. And this is interesting because there was another reading. I believe it was last weekend's collective reading. If you haven't already checked it out, I'll link it in the description box below. It may have been, I think it was Saturn Retrograde. And it talks about the bliss as well. And this was the last card that came up. So Spirit is really trying to help us, which you see here with divine guidance, help us create heaven on earth. That's the key theme here, heaven on earth, right? Being able to, freedom here. And actually, look at this. Oh my goodness, there is the word freedom right there. I'm loving this. This is about happiness, sunshine, awareness. It is about freedom, saying yes to life, enjoying it, enjoying, not slaving and working your life away. We didn't come here to planet Earth to work 20-hour work days, work until we're, 80 years old or 60 years old and then retire. And then, we didn't come here just to work and work and work, right? That's why we have play at the top of our list. And it doesn't mean that you have to let all responsibilities go. It means how you head towards those responsibilities. And while you're cleaning the kitchen, add a little bit of fun and play. Dance to the fridge, or dance on your way to go to the fridge, right? This can be about turning on the music and singing out loud. This can be about inspiring new ideas at the workplace and everybody pitching in and showing their ideas, and maybe even celebrating at lunchtime, boogieing, dancing, embracing new routines, new structures, getting rid of a dress code, right? Letting people dress as they wish, letting people, have those bouncy chairs or more ergonomic workspaces. This is about allowing people more time off instead of just maybe a week, right? Instead of working that 5-day work week, what if we worked less time? What if we had more time to experiment and explore and discover and play and have fun? Wouldn't it be a different world? And we are heading towards that energy right now. And this is part of that throat chakra coming in as well, because this is about us speaking up, asking for what we want. This world is shifting so fast. Sometimes I feel like it's hard to keep up, but it is shifting where we can do and be anything we want. You can go and travel the world. You can work from, a van. You can open up a shop. You can do anything online, right? You can learn anything online. You don't have to do the traditional way of going into college and going hundreds of $1,000s into debt just to continue paying off this debt, and then to, go this way and that way. There's so many different structures that we are being asked to break at this time. So if you have a dream, you must live it, right? If you have a dream, go in that direction. Don't let those fears, don't let the societal standards of the norm, don't let the past define where you are or where you want to go today, because we are breaking through all of that. We are shattering that glass ceiling, and that's what freedom is, right? We have here angelic support. This is about answered prayers. It's about spiritual strength and assistance. You're going to see miracles showing up when you start to act like this is a miracle, that you have the choice here to choose miracle, which you do. We all do. Miracles aren't something that just come in out of the blue when we have a car accident and we have the angels come in and pull us from a vehicle that we should have been left dead, right? No, miracles can exist multiple times through the day for each and every one of us when we live life as if it were a miracle, which it is, right? We are being divinely guided to create that heaven on earth and to have that freedom, whatever that freedom may look like for you. This is your bliss. Chase it. Beautiful energy here. We're going to pull some tarot cards. We're going to see what you may be going through at this time. What do we have as far as attachments? What are the good things coming in? What are things you can work on? Let's take a look here. What do we need to know? Some of you are absolutely thinking of financial freedom, I just heard, because they're showing me dollar signs. And you may be thinking of the things you want to do when you retire. You may be thinking of that, maybe that camper that you want to purchase, or that home on the beach or on the lake that you want. I am sensing that these things are going to happen for you. You are moving in the right direction. I am getting the Chariot as well, even though I don't see the Chariot here, but we're moving forward. This is good. If you are watching this right now, you are part of that energy that is moving forward. And that's what we have here with the Eight of Cups. We have the Judgment. This is a beautiful clarifier for what we're talking about, because the Judgment card is that awakening. It is a rebirth. It is a rite of passage. Now, again, this isn't a biblical or a political reading here, but in the Bible, at least I think, I've never read it, but I've read bits and pieces, but there is what is called the Judgment Day, Resurrection Day. In the United States, kind of not the same, but kind of the same, Independence Day, right? This is about you liberating yourself because you've gone through the past. If you can do a compassionate and loving review of the past and say, okay, I know where I've been, but I also know where I can go. This is about awareness, awakening. This is allowing yourself a second chance to head towards a life that is much better for you. This is about no longer ignoring that call. This is no longer letting those wounds of the past define you and go unhealed. This is about you being able to embrace change, not avoid it. Stop judging yourself. Let's stop judging each other. This is about freedom. This is the card of freedom. Instead of negative consequences, instead of us heading towards something we don't want, right? This is all about an earned reward. You have earned this through an awakening, through spiritual awakening, divine awakening, right? Through that angelic help and support, knowing you're not alone, by being able to overcome obstacles and conflict, by being able to face them and go through them, not fight or flight, which we've been so accustomed to doing over time. This is about you taking a look and changing your perspective, which is really interesting because if you zoom in here on her face, she has the old her and the new her. She has the light and the dark, which is part of this duality, part of this planet Earth here. But there is a new shift, this new vibration that we are in, and we are asked to rise above. And this is what the judgment is all about, rising above. Now you have here 3 of coins. There has been losses, absolutely. There's been lessons unlearned. So some of you may see yourself repeating a dynamic over and over. It's because we haven't quite learned how to become aware, how to release these judgments, how to quite feel that liberation that you want here. When the 3 of coins shows up, you have the opportunity to build a new foundation, but we can't build it by doing what we've done in the past. It's interesting to note that she's heading in the direction here of the judgment. So you have the personal freedom, the free will to choose to embrace a new life, to embrace this new energy, to embrace freedom, whatever that looks like to you. What does your next chapter tell you? 3 of Pentacles is about teamwork as well. It is about collaboration, coming together. It is about raising your vibration and your frequency to build that foundation of success, to build that heaven on earth. Next you have your King of Coins and Knight of Coins, and it is moving in this forward direction, which I really like, and they were just showing me dollar signs. So a lot of you, there has been unbalanced action. It is felt. We've felt it on a global level, on a collective level, the impact of the economy, the finances, all of that. So some of you may be saying, Melissa, how can we head towards financial freedom or this freedom when there's so much going on around us, right? I get that. There's a lot. We have been navigating through it. You're doing it right now. So many times we wait. We say, well, when this is better or when that's better. Of course, we need to think logically. That's why we have our brilliant minds, right? We plan and we structure. But if we wait and wait and wait and wait for that perfect time or that perfect opportunity, we may not have that because tomorrow isn't guaranteed and yesterday is gone. So that's why it is important. Some of you feel like you're walking a tightrope. Look at this knight. Not only is he on that tightrope, he's standing on a motorcycle, standing with his 2 feet, balancing that coin or pentacle in his hand. So it looks like a double whammy here where a lot of you feel stressed out because you are walking a tightrope. But what Spirit wants you to know is if you have the patience, you will succeed. It says patience to succeed. You are already doing it. The majority of you, a lot of you that are already tuned into the frequencies of this channel, if you weren't, you wouldn't be here watching, right? You are already heading in that direction. But yes, you're dealing with the chaos all around you. Yes, you're watching these things crumble. They need to. You're watching the shift in humanity. You're watching things turn around in a new way. There is a brand new energy of us being able to free ourselves. And it's interesting to note, look at him. It doesn't mean I was talking about what we wear, right? What we wear. And of course, some of you are saying, well, Melissa, we need to look professional. We need to look this. I mean, who wants to, and I've done this myself, right? Who wants to dress up and wear things that hurt us or pinch us, right? Wear high heels or wear those things that, we just don't feel comfortable. And then we have to sit for hours a day at a desk. I mean, if we are able to have more freedom in how we choose to live, we can be more productive human beings. We can be more creative. We can have more freedom if we have more freedom, whether it's working from home, whether it is having the flexibility to pick and choose, whatever this may be. I feel we have the patience. We will see this moving forward because we also have here the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is leaving the old behind. It is leaving the old behind to create that life that you want for yourself. This is about changing up your stagnant routine. And we fear change. Mostly all human beings fear change. Yes, change can be exciting and it can be invigorating and it can be something that, we go towards, but underneath it all, we do fear it because we like to know, right? You wouldn't be here watching these readings if you didn't want to plan and prepare and know. We wouldn't go to psychics or healers if we didn't want to know. Most of the time we want to prepare ourselves for what's to come. So then we have this mental sense of more stability when really we have that within us. We just need to access it more through meditation, through connecting with our higher selves, right? Freedom is us being able to move into energies again where we're unfazed. And we can do that by letting go of those attachments, we talked about reducing the wants and having gratitude for what we have, because that can actually open the door to new opportunities. But sometimes we collect things. You've seen Hoarders, I'm sure. You've maybe watched the show Hoarders, where they have stuff sky high, where people have a difficult time letting go of things physically, emotionally. That can also affect our digestion. That can affect that region. That can be colon energy as well. That can be intestines. That can be our bowels. Please take it as it resonates. Please seek medical professional help if need be. But also when we connect to our higher source, when we connect to that source within, our angels, our guides, right? Our support system here with the divine guidance, we're able to trust and we're able to, quote here, plan for our next steps. Not necessarily plan because our soul already knows, because we have that divine blueprint prior to incarnating into this life. But we are able to trust a little bit more and we're able to move forward. Now, I'm not saying don't watch these videos or don't go get a reading or anything like that, but it's also about trusting in your true soul's north. It's about you connecting to your intuition, because when you watch these readings, when you get that psychic reading or that healing, then there's going to be that resonance. And that's most of the reason why we watch these, is to feel what resonates, because that's your soul's truth. If this is resonating with you, bits and pieces or the whole thing, or maybe none of it at all, that's okay, because that's your soul's truth. And the Eight of Cups says that you are moving towards change and you want to embrace that. But how can you better prepare yourself for it? By going within to your soul's truth and seeing what resonates for you. When the Eight of Cups shows up here, this is my Eat, Pray, Love card, where instead of that stagnant routine of maybe 9 to 5 or being in that relationship that feels stagnant or dull or boring, or you doing something in your career or eating the same thing over and over, whatever it may be for you, we all have some sort of routine, and routines can be good, but it's important for us to shake them up, because when we shake up that routine, we shake up our energy. When we shake up our energy, we invite new opportunities. When we say yes to new opportunities, it frees us, it liberates us. We feel like we have that soul truth and that soul purpose and that soul fulfillment. So that's what you were headed for. Let's get one final message here. What do we have? What's the final message? Okay, we want 3. There's 3. 3's the charm, right? I'm also getting, some of you may see, or you may have a dragonfly land on you. I want to say even within the next 7 to 14 days, there could be an actual dragonfly. It could be something you see. on maybe a shirt. It could be a logo. It could be in your business name. It could be a place. Please take it as it resonates. But I feel like that is your sign from spirit, talking about change, talking about moving forward here, embracing change, embracing your ideas. If you have a dragonfly land on you and you were just thinking about how you would love to write a book, go with that, run with that, right? If you have, if you're walking across, maybe walking into a bookstore and you see that there's a dragonfly on the cover of a book, open that book and go to the first words that you see. There could be a message there for you. So pay attention to the dragonfly is what I'm hearing here. All right, beautiful endings cards here. Now we have some air signs in the house and some fire signs. Of course, this is for all signs, but some of you may have those strong placements: Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and others of you, this can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, or you have those placements in your chart. Now we have the Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, and Three of Wands. Beautiful energy here. This is about you embracing that go energy, that fire, right? That fire within with the Queen of Wands. Instead of being fearful of the future, if we can start to lift that vibration by becoming more free, right? Releasing the detachments, which is fear, right? False evidence appearing real. If we can release ourselves from that illusion, right? Shatter that illusion, that fearful yearning, we can head confidently towards a more ambitious, more exciting, more fulfilling, and freeing energy, right? We can create and manifest that heaven on earth. Now, some of you may also be journeying, you may be traveling. Know that you have more power than you think. There's something here with stepping into the light, magnetized energy coming in for you, where you're going to see that you attract the right people, that you attract the right partnerships, the right relationships, that you are able to not feel that sense of maybe loneliness that you felt in the past, or feel the fear because you are joining forces with people who help you lift that fear-based energy, right? And move towards, it may seem challenging, right? But she's heading right towards that portal, and this portal is opening up, and a lot of you have already stepped through this portal, and this is powerful. Know that you're protected. You see that beautiful cat in the background. And we talk about that feminine energy. Remember, that's the greatest strength we have here. Let's see. I thought we had, we have the strength card here. And whenever I see that feline energy, it reminds me of strength, that female energy. It doesn't have to be female. You can be male and embrace that feminine as well. But that is your greatest strength, is your intuition, your vulnerabilities, right? Being able to look and connect, relate, come together, release. I mean, this is powerful. Now, the Queen of Swords, she cuts through anything that is a challenge, which I love the Queen of Swords here. I'm a Libra, I'm a Queen of Swords, I get it. But she cuts through with that knife of hers, and she cuts through conflict because she doesn't put up with BS, right? She says, no, I am putting a stop to this. She can be a humanitarian. She can be someone who fights for a cause. She may be a journalist, a writer, an author. It doesn't matter. You can be anything you want to be, right? But Queen of Swords is saying that you have the wisdom, the clarity, the intelligence, the truth, the opinions. You know, you have what it takes to help others because you've experienced it as well. Okay, she is very honest and she thinks strategically, but she researches. She's a researcher, and I feel it's important for you to research whatever resources that you would like to help you become more aware. And that's important here as well as we head towards more freedom. Some of you may be thinking about going back to school. You may be studying at this time. I'm getting studying metaphysics or the metaphysical realm. It could be holistic health, healing, Reiki. It could be tarot. You may be diving into astrology, maybe your birth chart. You may be wanting to help others on a deeper level. And some of you are channelers. I'm getting channelers, so you may channel divine messages as well. This is about you seeing the growth moving forward. And this is going to help you move towards creating, again, that bliss, that heaven on earth, your happiness, your wish fulfillment. Double threes showing up here is beautiful because threes are all about creativity. They're about harmony. It's about coming together, unified energy. It's about advancement as well. And the Three of Wands, instead of unexpected setbacks, which yes, we see in our world, we see in our daily lives, we see in our personal life, our professional life, our health, we feel these setbacks, we see them physically, but we don't have to stay in that setback. One of my favorite quotes is, the comeback is stronger than the setback. And you can absolutely come back from anything, beautiful souls, that has set you back. Okay? And a lot of you need to know that. There's noticeable growth here. And because you have the Eight of Cups as well, this is just a little bit of a bonus, almost like an outcome energy here for you. You are moving forward because the Eight of Cups, they may look back and they may kind of look over the room. It's almost like looking into an empty room after you've packed up everything in your house and you're ready to move on, but you've had experiences in that home. Maybe you've been in that home for the last 20 years. So yes, there's a lot of energy. There's a lot of memories, and you may look back, but there's those memories that you'll cherish and that you'll hold, good, bad, and ugly, but you also know that there's a new beginning, a new chapter, a new home, a whole new cycle that you are embracing. And that's what I feel for all of you watching this video, is you are heading towards a brand new chapter, a brand new earth, a brand new world, to create that heaven on earth, whatever that may look like to you, whatever you define freedom as for you. I hope this resonates, beautiful souls. If so, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, comment. I do read each and every one of them. I absolutely love each and every one of your energies. Thank you so much for being here and supporting. If you haven't already hit that subscribe and bell button and you're vibing with the energy of the channel, please feel free to do so. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lots of love.